f of 9. Well, you put a 9 into the equation. Well, the square root of 9 is 3, which I should have known because it tells me the point, 9, 3. All right, now that's all over h. So once again, I'm stuck with my limit because I cannot put an h equals 0 into the denominator here because then it's undefined. Now I need to simplify things. Well, that's a little difficult because I have the square root of 9 plus h. But here's the trick again, because again, that's kind of what we're going through, all the different types of examples we could have, is that I'm going to multiply by what's called the conjugate. So I'm going to take this square root of 9 plus h, but instead of a minus 3, I'm going to multiply it by a plus 3. And because I don't want to change this equation, I just want to change the way it looks, I'm not going to change it, I'm going to multiply the bottom by 9 plus h, square root of 9 plus h, plus 3. Because again, if these two divide each other out, it's just a 1. And that's why it's only going to change the way the equation looks, not the actual equation itself. Now here's why we do that. Here's what happens. Equals the limit as h approaches 0. If I take, so I'm going to FOIL, if you will. Alright, so the first one's 9 plus the square root of 9 plus h times the square root of 9 plus h. You just get a 9 plus h. Alright, now, then I take the square root of 9 plus h times 3. Then it's plus minus 3 times the square root of 9 plus h. They cancel each other out, and that's why we do multiply to the conjugate here. And then the last part of FOIL, the L, is then minus 3 times a 3. That's a minus 9. All right. But then on the bottom, I have h times this whole thing in brackets here, the square root of 9 plus h plus 3. All right. Now, again, when I can simplify things, I'm going to do it. I got this 9 plus h minus 9. Well, I got a 9 and a minus 9. Those numbers cancel each other out. And then, well, I'll write it out one more time here. So now I have the limit as h approaches 0. All I've got is an h on the top. And then on the bottom here, I have h times the square root of 9 plus h plus 3. All right. Wow, look at this. I got an h on the top and an h on the bottom here. They divide each other out. So all I do is got a 1 up there now. Now again, the reason I couldn't sub h equals 0 into the equation here is because this h, 0 times anything, would be 0, and I would again have a 0 in the denominator. Bad news. But now look at, if I substitute in an h as 0, it's not going to be a 0 in the denominator, so I can do it. And so I'm going to substitute them in. Alright, so I just have a 1 on the top. And then on the bottom, let's see here, I put a 0 in for h. Well, I'd have the square root of 9, which is just 3. And then plus this 3. And so the slope of the tangent at x equals 9 is 1/6. But we're looking for the equation of the tangent line. Alright, so a little better review of grade 9 math is that the equation of any line can be written in the form y equals mx plus b. Well, here's my b right here. Here's my m, my slope is right there. And so the equation so far now is going to be y equals 1/6 x plus b. Alright, all we need is b, which is again the y-intercept. I have no idea why they call it b, but that's what it is. So once we find that b, we've got the equation of our tangent line. Not only the slope, but the equation of it. And so, well, we need a point on that line. Because if we know an x and a y, we can find the b. Well, I do know a point on the tangent line. It's right here. 9.3. So I'm going to sub in 0.93 to get B. Alright, so well, the y value is 3 and the x value is 9. So let's see here. So therefore, let's see, y is 3 as I said, equals, our slope here is 1/6. Our x value is 9 at that point, plus b. Alright, well, I got 3 here. Let's see, 1 times 9 divided by 6, I believe is 1.33 plus b. And then just solving for b, I'm going to move that 1.33 over to the other side. And again, when things change size, they change sign. And so I'm going to have a 3 minus a 1.33. And I would find out that b is 1.67. And so now, because I have my slope of my tangent line, I just found the y-intercept. I can now give the equation of the tangent line on this curve, y equals square root of x, at an x value of 9. And that equation is this. It is y equals 1/6 x, and then my v value is 1.67. And there we go. So that again is the very beginning of calculus. The key concept is that we're finding the slope of a tangent line. Alright, which again is the slope of some curve, but at just one point. Seems like 2 points, but they're so close together, we just look at it as 1 point.